Hello and welcome once again to another special episode of the SNS Cricket Diaries. I'm doing this video after quite some time, but I hope you guys are hanging in there. And please do subscribe to our channel, and that gives us great motivation. So today I'm delighted to have with me another wonderful guest who has been on our show before, former Ranji Trophy cricketer for Bombay, Mr. Shishir Hattangadi. Thank you so much, Mr. Hattangadi, for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so Mr. Hattangadi, I would just like to start by first asking you about the current rage that is going on in India, that is the IPL cricket. So, what do you think about the tournament so far? How has it panned out? And do you think that the current top four are the ones that you were expecting at the beginning?
Well, historically, the IPL has been, very important for us cricket lovers for the reasons best known that it keeps that we haven't seen in the domestic circuit because they're either not exposed to domestic cricket or they domestic cricket hasn't got those eyeballs as IPL has. And of course, some of the young players that we've seen, be it the current young superstar Vaibhav Suryavanshi, or whether it is Ayush Sharma, I think it is, who's uh, who's done so well, or even some of the young left-arm spinner Vignesh Puttur from Mumbai Indians, again an unknown commodity in domestic circuit. Uh, yes, it's been interesting. Yes, there are some players that you tend to then follow because of what they've done in the IPL on a bigger stage.
Yeah.
Um, but there are also the results of the teams that keep surprising you. Of course, this year CSK being virtually out of the tournament is a bit of a surprise. It just tells you that the clock doesn't stop for anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is here to with a sell by date, and it's obvious that CSK haven't been able to pull it off, which is a bit surprising. Because historically they've been very strong contenders for the IPL championship for the title. But to see Mumbai Indians come back after their early performance again is not a surprise. Somehow everything seems to be ticking for them. You know, they're ticking all the boxes. The batting is clicking, the bowling is clicking suddenly, and they suddenly look a force to reckon with in the business end of the tournament. Also, Punjab with Shreyas taking over as their leadership and Ricky Ponting have shown a lot of spirit in the way they've played. Uh, Gujarat again seems to be a settled side who seem to be, consistent in their performances. So no surprises except for the CSK angle, which I think has taken most cricket lovers by surprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if we're talking about Mumbai, Mr. Hattangadi, of course, you hail from that region, so obviously there will be a lot of support for Mumbai. But do you think that unlike the previous few years where they started off slow, which they usually have done right from the beginning of IPL, but then they just spiraled downwards and downwards and didn't reach the playoffs for quite a few years. But in this particular edition, what do you think has been the change in their play? Is it just the quality of cricketers, or is it something more that we can look at?
Well, to be honest, Mumbai's always been formidable. They're very judicious in their pickings, in the auction, and they've always had a certain kind of strategy around who their core contributors will be.
Mhm.
Uh, what we saw in the early stages was, of course, the lack of form or luck of Rohit Sharma, which is a big factor in T20 cricket. You need luck because it's a 120 ball game, and Rohit was getting out early. They hadn't didn't seem to have good starts in the power play, losing a
Right.
lot of wickets. And once that, when Rohit started getting runs, and of course the other batsmen contributing, it seemed to be a different side, and that makes all the difference when you're a team that does well in the power play. So uh, no surprises for Mumbai. They look a well-rounded side now because they seem to be peaking at the right time, and definitely a dangerous team as we go forward towards the end of the tournament because nobody can take them lightly. At the same time, there will be some party poopers, teams that don't really stand a chance to make the playoffs. But on a given day, they could beat a good team, a team that is playing well. And today's game, like Mumbai Indians versus Rajasthan Royals, will be very critical for Mumbai Indians more than Rajasthan Royals. So it's good to see that competitive spirit amongst teams that are not really at the top of the cluster of teams that are in contention to qualify. But at the same time, uh, no team can be taken lightly in this format, and certainly in this tournament.
Right. Mr. Hattangadi, talking about CSK and their season is going from worse to even more worse, if I can put it that way. They didn't, of course, they started off by beating the Mumbai Indians in their first game, but ever since then, it's been a downward spiral for them. And what do you think has gone wrong? Because a lot of people are saying that they messed it up in the at the auction table now, but then when the IPL started, nobody talked about them messing up with the auction table, and they were one of the favorites. So, how do you see
Hmm.
CSK's performance this year?
Well, you see, once you go into an auction and pick players, each team is happy with the squad they've picked. But we tend to forget as cricket lovers and cricket watchers that the form of the team really depends on how they play in the 45 days of the tournament, and not so much on on the data that you collect about each player. And if the form of the players isn't good, and that can have a cascading effect on the performance of the team, because the moment you start a tournament with a couple of losses, you'll need to spring back into action with key players performing. The problem with CSK has been they're they've always thrived and survived on top order batsmen contributing heavily to their performance. They've always had the bowling and of course the leadership skills to back up the runs on the board. But if you look at their performances, they haven't really contributed in terms of the opening partnerships consistently, and that could have been one of the reasons why they're not at where they'd like to be actually. And that is one reason why. And let's not forget, MS Dhoni is not getting younger. He doesn't play any competitive cricket other than the IPL. So uh, to expect Dhoni to be, in his pomp at this age and to be as sharp in his leadership without too much cricket behind him would be asking a bit too much from not only Dhoni but any individual who's been playing international cricket over the years. He takes a sabbatical and then plays the IPL. So one needs to be playing international cricket to be able to play this format consistently well, and to be asking Dhoni to contribute the way he did over the last 15 years, 16 years, 17 years is asking a bit too much of him.
Interesting, Mr. Hattangadi, that you pointed out about MS Dhoni, and of course, we all know the fact that MS Dhoni is aged and probably some say passed by his selling date. But the thing is that, of course, he's a big brand value for the IPL, not just for CSK. But do you think it is fair to carry on just purely based on that brand value? And do you think somewhere MS Dhoni himself could have probably said before this year's IPL that, or maybe last year at the end of the IPL last year, that probably this is not going to work out just based on his brand value, and there should be some influx of new captaincy, because probably they thought of Ruturaj Gaikwad much
They did
later.
that. Right? They did that with Rituraj. It was obviously to blood in, phase in a new captain, but he unfortunately got unfit. But to answer your question about Dhoni or anyone who desires to play in the IPL, who's played international cricket, who's a big crowd puller, it's a very difficult call to take by a team management where which has actually survived and based its its foundations on the leadership of Dhoni. So I think till last year it was very iffy whether he was completely not there in terms of contribution. But now I think it's very evident that Mahendra Singh Dhoni probably will take a call after this season, and especially after the team's performance, to take a back seat, maybe contribute outside the 75 yards to the team's performance. I don't see him playing in the years to come, but that's my opinion.
Mr. Tangadi, it's like, we just sticking to MS Dhoni. During the
Yeah.
tournament, we have seen a lot of unhealthy sort of support in the sense that the Chennai crowd, which is known for being very knowledgeable and has been knowledgeable for all these years, but somewhere, the cult figure fandom that Chennai is known for, for even for other celebrities, it's sort of it has taken another level this edition in with Dhoni. So do you think it's healthy for a team or for IPL to just be pinned on one such figure that when other wickets are falling, they're cheering and celebrating so that Dhoni can come.
Look, Chennai's been a very emotional crowd over the years. It's not only because of Dhoni. They've always backed their favorites, and I don't see it as a surprise when they do the same with Dhoni because he's an iconic figure for them. Uh, he's their adopted son, and one must accept that the player will also start thinking when he realizes that that fan following is dropping slowly. When the people who come in through the turnstiles to watch him
Mhm.
expect a bit of him, and he's not being able to satisfy the expectations. That to me is very crucial. And when that happens, the player himself realizes that I'd rather be go out when my fan following is still on the higher side, to be expecting crowds. We cricket lovers in India, we thrive on emotion, on nostalgia, on the past, expecting that you'll see the same side of an iconic player, whoever it is, not only Dhoni. Uh, but the call is actually the players. He has to take that call, saying that my body can't take it, uh, and funnily, every cricketer believes. When I say every cricketer, I mean it. That his best is just around the corner, and a lot of us live. Many of us, most of us, live in hope that the best will be the next, and that is where you believe that you could just be doing things right, the file following the processes right, and your best innings is the next one. So when it doesn't happen, then you have to take a call whether you need to be there or you need to step down. I think time has come with probably because you see, if Chennai had finished were in the top four and Dhoni hadn't performed, nobody would have said so much.
Mhm.
But it all boils down to a team performance and your contribution in that team performance. If the team performance is good and your contribution isn't there, people will still take it and people will still accept it. But having said that, when the team starts failing consistently and your performances aren't substantial, then it becomes difficult for the crowds to also keep backing you all the time. So I think Dhoni's smart enough to know that team hasn't lost or hasn't done well only because of his lack of performance. It's a collective effort. They haven't had good starts. They haven't picked up early wickets. All these things have mattered. Uh, but at the end of the day, the captain, I think, also realizes, the clock must be ticking for him.
Absolutely. Mr. Athangadi, talking about RCB now, they are at the top of the table as we speak now. They have played consistently. Initially, they were winning only abroad, I mean, sorry, away. But now they have won, I guess, one or two games at the Chinnaswamy Stadium as well. So they are at the top of the table. So, what do you think has gone right for them this season? Is it got to do something to do with the Rajat Patidar's captaincy? And what about Virat Kohli? Because this man, I mean, in spite of having achieved so much in cricket, in IPL he continues to churn out runs after runs. So, what do you have to say about the team and Virat Kohli?
Well, for starters, RCB has always been a decent team. They haven't just been able to tick all boxes to win over these years in the IPL. It's the same with the Punjab team, or it's the same with Delhi Capitals. They haven't just won, and this year, I think what has made a difference is Virat, of course, being so consistent at the top, and of course, uh, inclusions like Krunal Pandya. He's been a very important part of their team in terms of contribution, be it with the ball, be it with the bat, and in the last innings where he played a match-winning innings. So all in all, when you found momentum at the start of the tournament and you keep winning games, it's obvious that most of your key players are performing, and that is why you're winning games. And I think they managed to maintain that momentum as they went along in the tournament, and certainly give themselves a good chance of qualifying for the playoffs.
Yeah, they look very good. So my last question about the IPL is about this new teen sensation Vaibhav Suryavanshi, who hit a 35 ball 100 against for Rajasthan Royals against the Gujarat Titans. Um, so he was selected for about 1 crore rupees, if I'm not wrong, and there has been talk about probably sort of reducing the salary cap for very very young players. But firstly, what do you have to say, sir, about his performance, his future? How does it look like? Do you think he's the real deal, or will it just be the case of probably shining for a while and then sort of going into the darkness? And also about this huge influx of money that is there. I mean, we know the likes of Prithvi Shaw and many others who have fallen by the wayside in terms of fame and money and getting distracted. So, what is your take on all these issues, sir?
Well, my take on the issue is, for one, he's exceptional talent. He's very young. I don't know how old he is. Some say 14, some say 15. It doesn't matter. Uh, the point is, he's an exceptional talent. Obviously, judiciously picked by the Rajasthan Royal team, the support, the talent scouts, and of course, the word of mouth opinion that may have come from people sitting in the coaching diaspora of India. So that's for they obviously backed the right talent, somebody special who, who could grow as a player. That he scored 100 and showed us is very pleasing to watch. Very exciting. And at his age, I mean, we can only hope that he keeps improving, keeps growing as a player, and works hard at his game. Uh, the fear of PL, or the flip side, is that you could, and some could. I'm not saying him, but some could, because of the financial stability that comes with it. It could deflate a bit of your desire to keep growing as a player, or in terms of your commitment to domestic cricket, and performing at the domestic level, or playing in the red ball format. So he needs to first decide through his mentors and coaches as to what is the format that he wants to focus on at a very young age. Uh, that being the case, then focus on that, because some players are not cut out for the longer format. And I think a lot over the little late in terms of the format they prefer to play and where they'll be comfortable. We've seen that with Hardik Pandya now, that he's such a useful cricketer. People keep speculating why he doesn't play red ball, but maybe he feels he's more suited to a certain format, and he can contribute better player. And I believe that
Okay, sir,
while
I think there's some
we'll
internet
have,
issue at your end. Your voice is cracking a bit. Um,
is it? Can you hear me?
mm, I can hear you now,
Can you
but
hear
still
me?
it's cracking a bit.
Yeah, yeah. So my point was that, coming to the young player Suryavanshi, I think he will have to decide which is the format that he'd like to focus on.
Yeah.
Two is, of course, um, be or mentored, and people close to him should tell him that money is only a byproduct of what you're doing, and you're doing well. So
Mm-hmm.
as long as you do well, money is always going to be there. In today's cricket, money is flowing in for young players who do well. But uh, the way to look at it for him would be, the IPL is only a means to an end. The end being playing for India. And on to the ultimate goal of being a regular player in Indian cricket for the Test team, or maybe the T20 team, or the 50 over team.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so Mr. Hattangadi, now I want to take you back a bit in time during your playing days. And that was my main motive for this video. And of course, I mean, IPL is an important event, an ongoing event, so we needed to talk about it. But for a lot of my viewers and guests, I get this request that why don't you take us back to some of the old games and somehow, I mean, I feel it's just my perception, I may be wrong, that in India we don't talk much about domestic cricket, whereas in England there are a lot of talks and yeah, about county cricket, and county cricket is even well attended. So I want to take you back to the 1991 Ranji Trophy final. So this was the 1990-1991 season, one of the very closest finals that have happened in the history of Ranji Trophy. This was between Haryana and what was then called Bombay. So for the viewers who may not know, this was a match that was played at the Wankhede, and Haryana scored. Batting first, they scored 522, and Bombay replied with 410. So that was a lead of about 112 runs. Then Haryana in their second innings were dismissed for 242, and Bombay had to chase 355 runs. A tough task in Indian conditions to chase that much. But they came very, very close and they were all out for 352 in the fourth innings with Dilip Vengsarkar remaining not out on 139. So, the reason, Mr. Athangi, I want to take you back to this game. Of course, you were very much a part of it. You were opening the innings for Bombay along with Mr. Lalchand Rajput, and some of the greats of the game were there. Sanjay Patil, Dilip Vengsarkar, Sachin Tendulkar, of course, was sort of coming in, but he'd already made a name for himself. Vinod Kambli was there. And we had Abe Kuruvilla. So this was the Bombay team. Whereas, I mean, if I go through the Haryana team, we had Deepak Sharma, Dhanraj Singh, Ajay Jadeja was there. A lot of the names which probably people won't know, but of course Kapil Dev was captaining the team, so that was a huge, huge name. And of course Chetan Sharma was also there along with a lot of other players. So any memory, Mr. Athangiri, that you have of that game? How was it leading up to this game? How were you feeling, and how was the experience of such a close game?
Well, it's been a long time ago, but I mean, the memories just come out. I think we reached the final with a win over. I can't remember who it was. Who did we beat in the semi-finals? But it was again, we sort of. Would it have been Delhi that we beat in the semi-finals? I'm not sure, but we came into the finals pretty buoyant and confident. But we knew we had an obstacle in Kapil Dev, who wanted the Ranji Trophy very badly, and he was obviously he is India's greatest all-rounder, one of India's greatest players. So we knew that Kapil was not going to throw in the towel very easily.
Mhm.
Bombay in those days, or Mumbai in those days, in
Yeah,
these days,
yeah.
has always had a we've always had a great respect for oppositions, when they've performed and they've come into the finals. There is a feeling that Mumbai players are a little overconfident and cocky when it comes to domestic cricket. I think it's a myth. We've had healthy respect, and we've also been a little circumspect about, that this game can, actually make you look like a fool if you take things lightly. So we weren't in any way uh, we were confident, but we were certainly not overconfident and especially when you have Kapil Dev, Ajay Jadeja, who contributed very well in that game. But
Mhm.
as things turned out, we fielded very badly on the first day, and Ajay Sharma, was it Ajay Sharma?
No,
Uh, uh,
Deepak Sharma.
Deepak Sharma got a 199, if I'm not mistaken, and we fielded badly. Actually, uh, that was actually the start of our being on the back foot in that game because we fielded very poorly on the first day, and
Mhm, mhm,
uh, obviously Haryana knew that we would come back very strongly.
mhm,
Uh, because over 5 days you expect Mumbai to come back, and we did come back to make a match of it and lose by 1 run, which we should have won actually. Where I think it was the runner for Abby Kurula who got run out. Abby could not run, and he had a runner in Lalchand Rajput, if I'm not mistaken. And but my memories from this game are mixed because we should have won that game. Barring the Kapil Dev contribution, barring uh, uh, Deepak Sharma's 199. I think it was Ajay Jadeja got a 90 and Chetan
mhm,
Sharma got 98. So
mhm,
the knock by Chetan Sharma actually changed the face of the game in that sense because he's a lower order batsman. No one
mhm.
expected to score or bat so long to get that 98. We also, I think, made a tactical error in that game where I thought we should have played an extra spinner. They dropped an off spinner in that game, and I bowled. If you look at the score sheet,
Yeah.
I still I still picked Sanjay Manjrekar, the captain, on that issue. That I never bowled so much in my life. I think I picked up 2 wickets in the second innings, whereas I was
Yeah.
over bowled to a certain extent. After picking up those 2 wickets in 2 overs, I think I was actually asking Sanjay to stop me and get the fast bowlers and make sure that they finish the game, but or get them all out. But Sanjay was probably, I think, it may have been a figment of his or delusions that he thought I was a good off spinner. Uh, but that's the way it goes, and we still laugh about it today. Uh, but to play without an off spinner in a 5 day game would have been a tactical error at the Wankhede Stadium where the red soil does start bursting towards the end of the third day, and the ball there is purchase for the spinners. So that's one tactical error. But to be honest, Haryana deserved to win that, and they played very well. They played good cricket. They had the leadership of Kapil Dev. Uh, and I remember in the old days, there was the dressing room had a common massage table behind, and you could walk into each other's dressing room. And Kapil, after every session, would come into our dressing room and tell Vengsarkar, who was sitting at the end of the dressing room, "Come on, let us win once, let us win once." And Dilip kept reminding us that this was Kapil's way of making us overconfident and taking things for granted. So don't take Kapil Dev for granted because he wants to win this Ranji Trophy more than anybody else. They've never won the Ranji Trophy before this, and this is his dream come true. But it was a very hard game, tough game. Played very competitively, and at the end of the day, there wasn't much between these two teams except for that one run that we lost by. So I remember playing one more semi-finals against Delhi a year before, where we won by 1 run. Uh,
Okay.
in the Ranji Trophy semi-finals at the Firozshah Kotla. So we'd been there before, in a sense. A lot of us had seen that close game like that, and that Ranji game actually got us into the finals. Maybe it was this game that we got into after that game. So it wasn't. Far between in terms of these two games that got us into. If I'm not mistaken, it could have been the game before that got us into the finals. That 1 run win over Delhi in the semi-finals.
So,
I'll have to check
yeah, I
records
mean,
for that.
yeah, yeah. So, just to jog your memory back, you're absolutely right that you picked up 2 wickets in the Haryana second innings. Those were the wickets of Vijay Yadav and Chetan Sharma. So the fact that Chetan Sharma
Yes.
had played a knock of 98 in the first innings meant that even at that point of time, the wicket that you took of Chetan Sharma, although he was a bowler, was important because he must have been in good form and carrying that
Yeah,
confidence into
Chetan,
the second
let me
innings.
just correct. Chetan was a very capable all-rounder. It was not only his bowling. It was, of course, a handful as a fast bowler, but he was a competitive batsman. He could contribute, and yes,
Hmm.
getting him out. We still meet, and I pull his leg for not being able to read my straighter one. But that's for another day. It was one of those things that I think that got us back into the game because they had the lead and they had two good batsmen. Both of
Yeah.
them had scored well in domestic cricket, both Vijay Yadav and of course Chetan Sharma, and lower order batsmen. After getting the top order out,
Mhm.
it was important that these two, who could be thorns in the Bombay attack in terms of their contribution, we
Mhm.
got them out. But uh, I think personally, I mean, if I look back at the game after so many years, I think we lost the game on the first day where we fielded badly. Uh, to allow Deepak Sharma, full credit to him for playing so well to score 199, but we may have dropped about six catches on the first day itself, and that I think warranted that we didn't win the Ranji Trophy.
Yeah, and you talked about the semi-final. So in that particular season, the semi-final that Bombay played was against Hyderabad, and that was a draw where Sanjay Manjrekar
Yes,
made
yes. Sorry,
377.
sorry. Yeah. No, then
Yeah,
I'm talking about that one-run win the preceding year.
the
I
preceding,
think,
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
and you
So the
and
point I'm making is we did go through that a
yeah,
similar kind of pressure in
mm,
another another derby game, Delhi versus Mumbai, and we won by one run, and
right,
uh, and of course then in the second innings, I think four of us got hundreds against Delhi. So all in all, I think. We had seen that situation. We had felt that situation before, where
mm,
it was a one-run win or a one-run loss for Delhi.
mm,
So I would have thought we were equipped to handle that pressure. But I think that last run, where Lalchan Rajput was running for Abbey and trying to give the strike to Dilip
yeah,
or something to that effect, would have been a misjudgment. And you know the signature photograph of that game still stands out, where Dilip was in tears when we lost the game. And
mm,
uh, a historic game from a cricketing perspective. And of course, just losing a final didn't mean Mumbai had lost its supremacy, but it
yeah,
also meant a great signal for Indian cricket that other teams were also good enough to compete and defeat Bombay, which was good for Indian cricket. On
mm,
hindsight, I think that was one great moment for Indian cricket, where you saw other teams also, because in the 60s, my seniors tell me, uh, players would win the toss, and the low order bowlers would go for a movie because they
mm,
knew Bombay would bat for 2 days. So, in a sense, it was a signal that other teams were also able to compete and win games, defeat Bombay, look Mumbai in the face when they're playing a competitive game. And that is where Indian cricket, I think, flourished, because you started getting other teams to
mm,
compete well, and this whole myth about Mumbai being invincible also changed.
mm.
From an Indian cricket perspective, I think it was a good signal.
Yeah, I mean, I was just reading the probably the only piece of article on this match that I have been able to come across. It's on scroll.in, and it says, I'll just quote a few words from there. It says, it was a bitter loss for Bombay. Vengsaka, having witnessed the spectacular turn of events standing next to the square leg umpire, sunk to his knees in tears. It was a cruel end for a man who was brilliant and valiant in equal measure during his unbeaten 139 of 137 balls. And Mr. Chandrakant Pandit says that there was pin drop silence in the dressing room and the rest of the stadium. Only the sound of the Haryana players celebrating was echoing. And Lachan Rajput says that I couldn't get the match out of my head for a month. It was difficult to get past it, if I'm being perfectly honest. I remember our players were crying and everyone's head was down in the dressing room. We had lost the match, then won it before losing it again. So, I mean, it's a pity, Mr. Hattangadi, that BCCI, for some odd reason, has not been able to archive these games. in even a semi standard definition quality or something for us to watch. Even probably no still images are there, or maybe you go to cricket for you can get that. But it's an absolute pity that such a great game. I'm just trying to imagine how things could have been. How
I,
Vengsarkar.
I think that game was covered live on Doordarshan, if I'm not mistaken. Mm, there is enough footage of that game, and uh, I'd like that footage for my bowling, if not anything. But there is footage
Maybe,
of that
yeah,
game.
but not on
Uh,
YouTube. Maybe we'll
yeah,
have to
but
go. Yeah,
yeah, you'll have to probably, if they want to sort of create or document the historic games of Indian cricket, domestic cricket, or the Ranji Trophy,
yeah.
then this would definitely, somebody will definitely pull it out from the archives of the Doordarshan, because it's a game that actually has a bigger story to tell about other teams coming to the fore. In an era where Mumbai or Bombay was perceived to be invincible, and for the sake of motivating small towns to say that, look, the David Goliath game happened. It's something that will inspire a generation of youngsters to say that, if you believe, you can, you will.
Yeah, I mean, one last word, Mr. Hattangadi, before we finish on Dilip Vengsarkar's innings. I mean, scoring 139 of 137 balls in the fourth innings of a Ranji Trophy match must have been an incredible performance to play on. Of course, I mean, if you score 350 in the fourth innings, probably it means the pitch wasn't that bad for batting. But even then, on a fourth innings pitch to score that many runs at that rate during the 1990s was something
Yes.
incredible.
No, I think I've seen, over the years, I've seen Dilip play some great innings because he was my colleague, not only at Tata's, but Mumbai. And we played a lot of domestic cricket, local cricket together. And we saw him play many a great innings. But if I have to put this in the context of great innings that he played, this would be certainly up there. I'm not talking about his test innings or three hundreds at Lords and things like that. But in the context of domestic cricket, this was probably the greatest innings played by somebody for Mumbai, and especially as you said in the fourth innings at the fast rate that he scored,
Mm.
and of course mentoring Sachin, who must have got 90 odd in the second innings, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah,
Vinod
yeah.
Kamli, who got 45 in that crucial 45 in the second inning. So there was besides his own performance, there was taking Sachin to a level that he
Yeah.
achieved later. There were a lot of subplots that happened, which maybe the scorecard won't tell you, but
Mm.
uh, there are things that happened that actually benefited Mumbai cricket and the Indian cricket at large. And that innings, to my mind, was deserved Mumbai to win, because or Mumbai deserved to win just on the strength of that quality of that innings of Dilip Vengsarkar. Unfortunately, it was not to be. It wasn't Dilip Vengsarkar. It was just a misjudgment of a run,
Yeah.
and we would have been probably speaking in a different tone if that Dilip or Lalchand hadn't got run out for whatever reason.
Mm.
Uh, I can remember that once the game got over, I think some of us actually had to help Dilip off the ground, because he was quite gutted after that loss. And this is what happens, when you two teams want it so badly. And it may sound cliched, but cricket did win, um, but Bombay lost.
Yeah. So on that note, Mr. Hattangadi, thank you so much for being here and sharing your memories of that wonderful game, and your views on the IPL. It's always a pleasure to have you, and I hope my viewers have enjoyed listening to Mr. Hattangadi. Till the next episode of the SNS Cricket Diaries. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.